Hey everybody, welcome back to a second edition of Conversation with me, Rick.
And me, Nain.
And this beautiful young man here. I'm going to say young because you're actually not the senior Joseph Batista that we've always learned to love and hear about.
I am senior.
You are the senior.
I am senior. There's a Joseph Jr. teaching martial arts in Arizona.
In Arizona?
Yeah, in Phoenix, Arizona. He has a thriving school out there. I'm very proud of him. I am senior.
So let me ask you this, because we all know that, and I confirmed it with you just a minute ago, that your father is the great late Emil Batista.
Dad.
Wow. I mean, and we were trying to, we almost had an opportunity to have him on the show, but unfortunately...
He was excited about that.
Was he?
He shared that with me. He was excited about that.
Oh, man, I really wish we'd been able to pull that through, because it was almost time when he was really, he was kind of sick already from what I understood, and he had caretakers that were going to be with him at all times, just to make sure that he was going to, and so we were trying to come out, and we couldn't get our everything, dot the i's and whatever to get there to be there for that day, and like, okay, so now, and then we heard the sad news, and we're like, oh man, so what do? We
find his son.
Let me tell you the strength of my father. I went to go see him just the day before they pulled everything out. And a friend of mine, one of our students, Mary, she said, could you bless his body? That way the spirit can feel better about going to the next level. So it was my day in the hospital. They give you each person, one person a day. This is my day. So I went in there and talked to my dad. Hi, Dad. I wish you could talk to me. I love you. I miss you. Everything you say. I started with the blessings. I blessed his hair for giving us, his children, something to play with, something to pull, something to pull. I blessed his ears for hearing our problems, for listening to our complaints. I down to his jaw, which carried his mouth and shared with us things that we should try to accomplish in life.
Right.
And down his shoulders, his arms that carried us as children and carried our children. His fingertips up the side of his body, went down his legs, up his legs to his chest, his lungs. Then I put my hand on his heart, and he was in a coma, right? When I put my hands on his heart, his body convulsed.
Wow!
It scared me.
Oh,
it scared me.
I can imagine.
That does my dad. I think he was saving that, and that's just saying, go on. Wow. Can't see this. I got goosebumps talking about my dad.
No, I can see
Yeah,
it.
that really happened. It was really strange.
That was your dad testing your skills to see if you could react.
All right, be on guard. I'm in a coma. I can still kick your ass.
That's awesome.
He always could. I was the state champion of California, undefeated for 2 years as a brown belt. Just beating everybody that stood in front of me, and he actually put me on the mat in front of him. Right? Okay, old man, you want to see why I'm the champ? Let's play. Wrong. No matter what I threw at this guy, lead hand, rear leg, no matter what I threw, he would check, counter, set me on the ground. He didn't slam me.
He would just set
me on the ground.
And this is in front of people.
Insulting. Yeah. This is in front of people. Just, one time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and I realized, there's nothing I can do to this guy.
Yeah.
There's nothing. And my head was here, and he just kind of put it back in place. Thank you, Dad.
Wow.
And I love that story because it's the same thing that I do to my students.
It's beautiful.
You train them to be better than you, but then when it comes time to show you what they got, you can always put them in check.
That's necessary.
Right? And
that's necessary.
It's one of those things that you have to do to let them understand. No, there's so much more you have to do after this. And we'll keep doing this until you get it,
My father had a great mind for what he was doing. When I was a third-degree black belt, he took me aside and goes, okay, you need to start over. Why do I need to start over? He goes, I'm a third-degree black belt. I've worked 20 years to get to this position here that I'm doing now.
Right.
Why do I need to start over? He goes, well, we showed you what you needed to learn. Now we need to teach you. Who knew there was a difference, right?
Yeah, right. What am I?
So, there's difference. It's between learning the application and just doing it.
Right.
When you're just doing it, you're just going through movements. But when you're learning, now everything has a function.
Right.
And I had to relearn.
We call that striking with a purpose.
Yeah. It has its place in growth.
Yeah. That's cool.
It's cool now, but back then it was like What did you spend all that time teaching me for?
Well, we've been doing it for the last 20 years.
I thought I was learning. No, we showed you.
Are you the typical son that you're a crazy old man? God damn it! Right?
He obviously didn't quit though.
No.
I don't know that quit was an option.
Wow.
Right. He never put that on the table. Have you been doing this since you were a kid?
7 years old.
And that
which was
Dad's
1967.
doing, right?
What year is this? 2020. That's about 55 years I've been tying a belt.
Wow, that's crazy.
And loving every minute of it.
Oh.
Even when I got beat up, I learned something.
Oh yeah, you definitely.
I love that phrase, tying a belt.
Yeah.
You know, believe it or not, he and I, we don't know how to tie that belt. I used to know it back when I was back in the 70s when I did it, but we don't have belts in our system, only because we're not that kind of a system. You know.
I would like my reputation to be on merit, not on rank.
Yeah.
It is.
That's a beautiful thought. Not everyone thinks that way.
Then maybe they don't have the worth to prove it.
Yeah, and
He said it.
and that's you know, because that was something that we talked about, and we talked about long and hard, me and my brother, who is the founder of our system. And he said we don't want to do belts, and I said, yeah, you're right, you know, because we were saying that the belt carries with it this piece of ego that ruins it for the lower belts, because it chases some of them out.
I will sign that. I will sign that document. I have people come to me all the time and say, "Hey, teach me martial arts. I heard you're really good. I want to learn what you're doing." And if we're close enough, I'll tell them, "You know what? There's a school right over there, Dragon's Den. The instructor is amazing.
Yes,
go."
We're speaking about Jeff Makalola, just so everybody knows, because he's an awesome guy. He's a young guy who was able to take a school and turn it into a family business where everybody loves to be there. It's amazing.
He's very good
and
at what he does.
It's a family-oriented school. I mean, I know a good friend of mine, Dave Hernandez. His entire family went there. His daughter started with white and became a black belt in Qigong.
I love his daughter.
You know, Dave.
I flunked her for her first belt.
Really? Yeah.
I did because I wanted more. I wanted more. I have standards. I flunked her for her first belt, and she came back so strong. And she's taken what she learned from us on the mat onto the mat. She went. I'm not sure where she went, but she got a scholarship for wrestling because she was a legitimate state champion wrestler.
Yes,
amazing.
Really,
I'm so glad that she stuck.
Yeah. Oh, she's amazing.
And her brother, he's a black belt too now.
Yep.
Talent. This comes with parental support.
Yes. Well, that's what I was saying. It's a family-oriented business that they run over there, and the family is so gung-ho into everything that they do. They will. I mean, I know they took trips to Puerto Rico and different places.
That's right.
And they did fundraisers just so that everybody can go. I mean, you don't hear that kind of stuff in schools. You know, that everybody's going to chip in and throw money in for everybody to go out and do these crazy ass trips all the way to Puerto Rico just to learn
knowledge.
Yeah, knowledge.
There's no price limit on knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing what he's doing. Jeff, you know, much love, dude. You're awesome.
Here's something Jeff's dad told me one time. Somebody was asking him, "How can you afford to put your kids through college?" And he said, "How can you afford not to?"
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, if I don't put them through college, then I'm paying them for the rest of their life. I have to support them. I don't want them to support themselves.
That's a good statement.
I like it. How can you afford not to?
Right. So how were you with your son when he was coming up? Did you put him at 7 years old, tie his belt?
My father, my father had his black belts teach me, and then he would fine tune what I was taught.
Wow, so he gives you the amateur.
It's the
I love it.
Either I'm your father or I'm your teacher.
Right.
So he wanted to be my father, and I wanted him as my father because there's nobody else.
Right.
That was my father. But teachers, there's plenty of teachers. So his black belts, they showed me my knowledge. He corrected. He helped me to perfect, if that is such a thing, and become
refine.
Yeah, thank you very much. refine the knowledge that is being shared. That being taken into account, my son got up to his green with me, and then I turned him over to Jeff.
Oh.
So he is a Dragon's Den Makaloloe black belt.
Wow.
Still under me, because Jeff is under me.
Right.
But he took his instruction to a different level.
Now, let me ask you this, because
I'm proud of him for that.
It's super humbling, though. It really is.
when I heard of
he's an amazing student, and I'm talking about both Jeff and Joey, my son Joey. He's taken his martial arts to a different level. He breaks it down to the muscle masses that you're using, cause and effect. Not just throw a punch, but you need to flex this, you need to relax that, you need to extend this. He just breaks it down.
Wow.
Scientific. So it's becoming a science.
Let me ask you this, because that's
so cool.
That's the first I've heard of that.
Yeah.
And in the traditional kaiju, you don't hear that. Not the way you're explaining.
Yeah, we got a lot of badass fighters.
Yeah, well, and I know, we know some of those guys.
We've met a few.
We've been trying to get Jeff on this show. I tell you, he's really so focused on what he's doing.
Running at school is
24/7 almost.
25, 25/8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's
even
awesome.
when you're sleeping.
Yeah, and you got to admire that. So, we're going to let him go whenever he gets here. But as you're growing up from 7 to where you are now, and I'm sure you've seen all the mood swings of martial arts, right? You know what I'm saying?
Live through it.
Yeah, and the McDojos, and all the other crazies that come and go, and these guys who are belt factories and whatnot.
Belt factories.
Oh, I have. I've had a lot of people come to me for rank. I just smile.
How big of a thing was that for you to make sure that you were not going to be that? Because everybody was hoping that everybody would be that way, right? I mean, you remember.
I had standards. I had set standards from an early age of what I expected of myself, and if I had any students, what I expected from them.
Right.
And that being said, if you really, really break it down, if you look at the Kaiju family tree, there's a few names under me. There should only be one.
Right.
Just one. Just one. Jeff is the only one that's gone from white to black and rank through me. The rest of them have done real well for themselves, but reasons, this, that, whatever, they had to go somewhere else for higher rank.
Right.
Okay. Jeff has always been loyal to me.
Yeah, no, I can see his character.
And as to what you're saying about other people in other schools, wow, how much do you care about yourself and your students and what that represents? Because I would want my second black belt, my third black belt, my fourth black belt, anybody that trained on me to know that they are just as good as the first one.
Right.
And that wasn't an easy road.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of black belts who shouldn't even been black belts. Maybe a yellow if at best, but you see that, but yet they strut around like, yeah, I'm a badass because I have this black belt, and it only cost me $12.99 a month. It's like, what the hell are you doing, buddy? You suck.
How do you maintain the quality?
You just don't pass out belts.
That's simple, folks.
Yeah.
But isn't that amazing, though? Doesn't that?
I'm not trying to keep a business open.
Right.
A lot of those are businesses more than they are schools.
That's the difference.
I'm not trying to keep a business open. If you want me to teach you, I will teach you. If I don't see improvement, the next time I see you, I might not be teaching you anymore.
Right.
Wow.
But if I see the improvement and I see you're eager and I see that you practice what I showed you last time, okay, next move, next step, next level.
So you're willing to toss somebody out on their ass if they're not moving?
I'm willing to smile and walk away because neither one of us
he's
are
nice
bad.
about it. He wants to throw people out, but you just walk away. That's good.
I just walk away, or I tell them go over there because they know something that I don't know. Maybe they can help you.
Oh,
I pass the buck. I don't put it in my pocket. I pass the buck.
And I love that because then that shows how much you really care.
Well, my integrity is at stake, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of important.
And that's the thing that drives me crazy when I see those guys who do that, because they really don't give a shit about their name. They're just willing to throw out a name because it's going to bring in money.
Well,
and that drives me.
And that's what they're worth.
Yeah, that drives me crazy though. I mean, because I feel bad for that kid that gets killed because he thought he was a true black belt.
Or just get their ass beat.
Yeah, I mean, and it happens.
This is supposed to work, on a bag.
Yeah, on a bag with your co-students.
With the uke that allows you to.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Do you find that having that school somewhat spirit that's really portrayed in a bad way, where these guys go in, they do all these fancy things, they show off in the class, look what I can do with my uke, look, the guy's going to give me this, it gives me exactly what I need to show this really cool, fancy thing. But when they get out in the street, they get the shit beat out of them because...
It's my job as an instructor in that school to make sure they don't walk out the door unable to protect themselves, unable to defend themselves. Let me go real quick on the point on this.
Yeah.
When most schools teach, or they used to, they'd work you to the point of exhaustion, right?
Yes, I remember those
just to see how far you can go. Yeah. Well, what happens to that exhausted student when they walk out the door? 5 minutes later, something happens, they have to get out the car, and they're just too exhausted to defend themselves.
Right.
So we've started, and this is another thing that my son does, and talks about a lot, 75%, 80%. Just work them to that level, don't work them past that. And if you need to do a cool down, because these students still need to get home.
Right.
From the hard training they just did, they still need to get home.
Right.
So that's where technique, that's where finesse come in handy, more than just the conditioning is excellent and great, but walk out the door ready to perform, not tired. It's just public service message.
No, that's a good message.
And this is the stuff that I mean, me and Nain have been around a lot of martial arts, and we don't hear these. I mean, today we were blown away by our previous guest, Selena Duffy, who was saying things that really surprised the odds that we hadn't heard in a long time, or maybe ever. That you got to teach these people how to move within themselves and how to be comfortable with what they do, and not give them things that are just so ridiculously overdrawn or overblown in them. You know what I'm saying? They give you these triple, double lux, backflip, double kick, punch back, whatever. It's like, come on, that's so unrealistic. But yet you want them to do these things and expect them to be able to pull it off. When something happens, they can't do it because they can't remember half the shit that was said.
I try to explain every technique from beginning to end, cause and effect. Why you're grabbing here, why you're kicking here, why you're pushing here. Turn his chin.
Break it down. First person who said this to us. This drives me crazy.
But as an instructor, that's how they understand it better. So katas are the same way. It's when we do a kata, my father would ask, "How many people are you defending against?" Oh, I do 8 techniques, so 8 people. Who would want to fight 8 people? Right. That's crazy. That's crazy. So almost every kata that I teach, the same movements that everybody else teaches, but I show that it's only 2, maybe 3 people.
Right.
Because if I hit you one time, you're not done and out.
See what I told you?
You're going to get up, pissed off, you're going to pick up a stick, and you're going to swing at me. Yeah. So I will stun, finish, stun, finish.
Right.
And it's going to kind of go in that series.
See, this is
I'm not going to start pounding on this guy and then have him clock.
Jump on you.
This is not in the program, guys.
That's what I tell this kid. It's like, it can't be when you see these guys doing these carenzas and they're going, they turn and they turn. It's like, dude, what happened to the first guy that he hit?
Yeah,
he's already turned around and because how do you know you knocked him out? I mean, come on, you went from that guy to this guy to that guy. That's ridiculous.
I had a student challenge me one time to in a good way. As an instructor, I've got this is my lineage. We got the alphabet from Sijo. I've got the punching techniques from Tony Ramos. I've got the B specials from your father. But what do I have from you that I can teach my students? Because all that other stuff is great. He challenged me, so I decided to come up with, I want to do 4 katas in my lifetime. I want to teach 4 katas. I've got one kata, and it's a 3-man attack. And it's just stun, finish, and a finish.
Can we see that
So
later?
it's 3.
We need 3 people. we need 3 people.
We need 3 guys.
Just gotta visualize. But when I teach this kata, I teach it as a technique. Then I show them how it's put together into a kata. Wow. So that they can understand that they're actually defending against the party, throwing a grab punch. Oh, this guy's left-handed. So now you have to change up on this person, and they come back. So you do a finish.
That's great.
But
again, stuff we don't hear people talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I couldn't make a kata that was all fluff.
Right, but that's what you see, right? I mean, you look at some of this crap that's been coming out, like, holy, that ain't gonna hurt anybody. You can't even tell who you're fighting at this point. You're going from one person to the next. You don't even know.
Right. And did you do any damage?
Right.
So when I demonstrate, I show you where the damage is. You know, and if they want, I will do the application on them, so they could understand. Wow,
Okay,
I couldn't do anything
yeah.
for like 3 seconds. That's the point. Yeah. And while that's happening, I step all the way over here. I'm not gonna stay right here. I step all the way over here. So this third guy over here, I'm way away from him. And then when they attack, then I move my body over here. I'm not going to stay set in one area. I hit and move with you to take you away from my other opponents.
The other guys.
I don't want to give them any more free shots than necessary.
Right. But see,
Wow.
And again, back when I was doing this in the 70s, and we learned katas, and the traditional I or H, depending how you look at it.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
I got in trouble for that.
Yeah. See.
Go through
So
that.
I'm going through this, and I'm realizing this is dumb. You know what I mean? Because it's like, wait, who am I
Dumb,
fighting?
predictable, and repetition.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, you're doing this, you block, you turn, you come up. Like, this is...
You're building techniques.
Yes.
Well, but when you turn blindly, I don't understand that. And
yes.
The blocking down, so you can block a kick with your legs. You can block a kick by turning your hips. My hands, I kind of want to protect.
But for you to drop it down here so damn low, you're like, no, that's unrealistic. I mean, what am I doing this for? And that used to drive me crazy. I've always hated katas because of that reason. That they didn't make sense to me.
I'm going to say, my friend, that they weren't explained to you correctly.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if they're explained, then there's no mystery. And yes, I know why this is done this way.
Yeah, I was never told. I would just say, here, copy the guy in front of you and do this.
Yeah, follow along.
Yeah. So I'm a little embarrassed to mention, and I won't give any names.
You've said them enough.
It's one of those things where one person does something wrong, and he teaches that mistake to somebody, so it gets even worse, gets even worse, gets even worse, gets even worse,
You
and
remember
it becomes
right?
something totally different.
Follow the guy in front of you.
Yeah.
Is what we were
Yeah,
always told.
that drill.
Yeah, that old drill of follow the guy in front of you.
What if he's doing it wrong?
Yeah, follow him.
You're doing it.
Yeah, he's been here longer than you, 2 days. I mean, that used to always drive me crazy.
We had, this is going back to something we mentioned earlier, been doing martial arts for 30 years. We got a technique that has a throw. And for generations, we've been, from a squat, step in, reach on and throw. And, with enough effort, you could do it.
Yeah.
We had this 16-year-old kid walk in, watch us, and go, why are you doing it like that? Well, what do you mean? He goes, well, let me show you the way I think might help. And he did the cross step, stick your butt in them, and lift up your hips.
Yeah. Right.
And they went over. Wow. A 16-year-old kid. Jeff. Right?
Yeah, Jeff.
That's example what I'm talking about. Age shouldn't really matter, but there's valuable lesson involved. Knowledge comes from all areas.
Oh my!
Not just the ancients.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you, because now it's on camera. No one can ever take it away because
we hear that shit a lot.
yes.
There is so much. There's so much
I'm the
more for me to
grandmaster.
learn.
I know everything.
I've been there for 2 years.
I know everything.
And you see them get knocked on their ass, and it's funny because it's like, you're an idiot.
Times 10.
Yeah. Thank you. And that was our good friend Becca. We have you on the mirror. That's just amazing. Folks, we're gonna have to
pause this.
Well, yeah, we're gonna have to let him walk. But when he comes back, we're gonna go do.
I'm gonna go teach the B specials.
Can you show us some demos when you come back?
We can film the B specials.
Yeah, we can film some. Yeah, and then I'll have him do some to you. And not get, wait, why don't you play Uki and let him beat the shit out of you, and then that'll be fun. Folks, we're gonna actually jump into his seminar.
Yes.
I'm gonna video, and Naeem's gonna Uki, and this will be his demonstration part. So let's do that.
How's that sound?
Is that all right with you, sir?
I'll be over on the far mat.
We're going to the far mat. We'll see you guys in a bit.
See you in a bit.
Guys. He's getting ready to demonstrate over here at the VEA.
We're messing up his whole
So
thing.
we're messing up his whole seminar. But we're going to do this real quick. So Naeem's going to be the